Seriously, Amanda, look at this. Every one of those pink and orange spires is like a giant finger pointing up. This place feels like a destination. We made it to the final view.
I know, Mom. We're up at 8,000 feet, and this air is so thin and sharp. It's like this whole canyon amphitheater was carved just to stage a final, mind blowing revelation.
Hey, history hounds and happy campers. We are at the end of our journey. This is episode 4 of the Nativity Road. Here in beautiful Bryce Canyon, we are celebrating the final chapter, the Star and the Epiphany.
Mom, the geology here is what makes it so special. It's not a canyon carved by water, it's an amphitheater carved by ice and rain. Weather is the artist. These hoodoos, these tall, beautiful spires, are like fragile monuments made of the pink and orange Clarion limestone. The colors just glow in this light.
It's majestic, and the history runs deep too. The Paiute people who lived here first had the perfect name for these formations. They called them Yurka Timpi Wawints Kokpich, which translates roughly to red rocks standing like men in a bowl. They saw sentinels.
These hoodoos are incredible. They look like millions of silent rock sentinels. They're fragile, carved by the wildest forces, ice, wind, and time, and they stretch out like a giant city of stone.
They do. And the history here is all about searching for destiny. The early Mormon settlers came looking for a promised home, guided by their faith, right? Well, the canyon is named after one of those guys, Ebenezer Bryce, who settled here in 1875. He was a great pioneer, but maybe not a great rancher.
That's the best part. This guy discovered one of the most beautiful canyons, and his famous comment about the geological wonder wasn't about the view. He famously said, "A hell of a place to lose a cow." Thank goodness people realized this was too important to just lose cows in. It was protected as a national monument in 1923 and as a full national park in 1928.
It's perfect, isn't it? The Magi followed this grand celestial philosophical sign, the star, and where did it lead them? To a humble, practical, messy stable where the reality was probably pretty difficult. The Paiute saw men standing guard. Ebenezer Bryce, practical reality, mirrors the Magi's high purpose, meaning the low, earthy moment of worship. The Magi followed a star. This entire place is about seeing a sign and believing in its destination.
Speaking of practical reality, we are struggling again. We're at 8,000 feet. The truck engine is seriously gasping for air. This high altitude hauling, meticulously managing the fuel in the engine just to pull this heavy trailer safely.
And the Magi dealt with that exact type of commitment for perhaps years. The star was powerful, the singular event that demanded they drop everything. They traveled for ages, hauling heavy, valuable gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, across the huge deserts. That level of investment just to find a humble baby is the definition of faith.
They weren't just taking a road trip, they were pilgrims.
Their gifts were perfect acknowledgments of the importance of the one they sought. Gold for kingship, frankincense for sacrifice and priesthood, and myrrh for burial, foreshadowing the whole reason he came. This was the ultimate announcement of Christ to the Gentile world, the Epiphany.
Okay, quick check on Lua. Lua check-in. High altitude and this sharp frozen gravel are brutal. I'm checking her paws for ice cuts and making sure she isn't exhibiting signs of altitude sickness. She is our constant, vigilant guardian, even in the snow.
The Magi's journey shows us that the greatest gift is not the gold itself, but the act of showing up and worshiping. The hoodoos, those fragile spires carved by quiet, persistent forces, remind us that the great changes comes from steady, relentless commitment. The Epiphany was the glorious end to a long, committed journey. The hoodoos, those fragile spires carved by quiet, persistent forces, reminds us that great change comes from steady, relentless commitment. The Epiphany here in Bryce was the glorious end to a long, faithful journey.
It was, Mom. We've completed the Nativity Road. The journey was the entire point. This trip really showed us the depth of commitment required for the Christmas story. We've completed the Nativity Road. From the brutal desert to the thin mountain air, the journey has shown us that commitment, not comfort, is what leads us to the greatest destination. That's the real lesson, Mom.
It really did. We started in Death Valley, Episode 1, exploring the wilderness of waiting, the sheer physical challenge Mary and Joseph faced under command.
Then we went to Sequoia National Park, Episode 2, looking for the humility of the cradle, realizing the divine arrived in the lowest, messiest place.
In the Grand Canyon, Episode 3, we stood on the edge for the fields of watchfulness, learning the revelation comes to those who are simply awake and present.
And here in Bryce Canyon National Park, Episode 4, we celebrated the star and the Epiphany, the ultimate commitment of the Magi to follow a sign, even when it led them to a humble barn.
The Christmas story ends with faith and determination. May you always find your own guiding star.
Thanks for joining our 4-part Trail Chronicles. It's been an incredible road, Mom.
The road was hard, but the destination changed the world. We hope this journey gave you all a fresh perspective on the courage and commitment behind the greatest story ever told.
Thank you so much for joining our 4-part Trail Chronicle. It's been an incredible road.
It has. And from our home on the road to yours, we want to wish all of you, History Hounds and Happy Campers, a truly wonderful and meaningful Christmas. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to help us out, and let us know what is the longest or hardest road you've ever traveled where the destination made it all worth it.
Merry Christmas, everyone. We'll see you soon.